Good day and welcome to Motorose Music. I am Jeff Thiel, the host of the show. Today we've got a little amp here. Yes, this is the Stage Right. I got this from Monoprice. There was a guy that had I think it's something like Regular Joe's guitar or something like that. Maybe I'll put the link down there. Suggested this. There was a coupon on it when I bought it. It was currently it's selling for $159.99 on Monoprice. When I bought it, it was $135 and there was a 30% off coupon, so that's why I got it. I got it for like $95. But it's $160, so maybe they're getting a little cocky and they're starting to jack the price up a little bit. They tend to do that on these things. But let me tell you about this thing. This is the Stage Right, and I got it from Monoprice. The model number is, I've got it here written down because it's a crazy, SR611705. What the hell that means, I have no idea. They could have called it the SR8, I don't know, 58 or something, because it is a 5-watt amplifier. It has a Celestion Super 8. It's the name of a hotel, isn't it? And it does have some slight attenuation. You've got this button here, pushed in. I believe you're at the 5-watt. Let me make sure I'm right there. Now, pushed in, you're at the 1-watt, and out, you're at the 5-watt setting. It does have, this is a tube amp. Yes, for under 200 bucks, we've got this tube amp. It has a 6V6 GT and a 12AX7. Those are the the tubes in there. That's the classic, setup that's been around for a long time. And this, as you can see, it's a nice little package. It's kind of set up, like a little champ. There's nothing to it. You've got the volume, you've got the tone, the input, and the only difference here is you've got this slight attenuation here of between 5 and 1 watt. Nothing on the back except there is a jack for an external speaker. I'm not sure who the hell is going to put an external speaker on this thing, but if you'd like, you can do it. I will say, it is a good looking little box here, kind of a cream colored. It's maybe to look like the cream. I don't know. The Fender had they had the brown face in that, and they had, so it's kind of like those, but it's really just kind of a nice cream color, and this handle is leather. Man, it's like really cushiony. It doesn't say it's leather, but it smells like leather, and it's really comfortable. It's really a cushion grip. Really surprised that on a cheap amp like this that they would have bought. Normally you just get like some vinyl thing, or I don't know. You don't get something that's really soft and leather. It's really great, but for all the looks, we got to find out what the hell this thing sounds like. Yeah, this thing could sound like crap, and I don't care how cheap it is. So let's plug this thing in, mic it up. I'm going to have an SM57. I might have a couple SM57s. I don't know. Well, maybe I'll put a pencil mic on it and get some ambient sounds. I don't know. Let's just plug this thing in. I'm going to grab. I don't know, I'll grab one of these guitars. Maybe I'll grab a cheapo, and we'll go cheapo plugged into the cheapo right after this. All right, I'm back, and I've got my 2018 Fender Stratocaster Elite, and it is an HSS, as you may be able to see here. And so I've got the Stage Right all warmed up, and I've got the volume set just above 3, and the treble is at 8, or I should say the tone. The tone is at 8. I'm going to be going into it just dry, and that way we can really hear what it sounds like. I'll just play some simple chords here, and then we'll take it from there. what you may be able to notice is that with the 1.6V6 and that one 8-inch speaker, even at 5 watts, it drives it pretty well. So there will be a point where I'm going to dime this thing, and we're going to see how well it can really get some overdrive and give us just distort a little bit. All right, so, but first up, just totally clean here. Yeah, you can hear even at just over 3, about like 3 1/4. I have that on with a humbucker. It's getting a little bit of grit, so it's not truly a crystal clear, clean amp, even at these low settings. And this is on the 5-watt setting. So now let's hear some single note tones here. Turn the volume up, dummy. All right, not bad. Sounds pretty good. I'm liking this little amp so far, especially for the money I paid for it. Again, they're going for $160 on Monoprice. I got a 30% off deal, and they were going for $136 at that time, so I got it for around $95. So, but we'll let you hear it to see if you think it's worth the $160. So now what I'm going to do, being that this is just a basic amp, there's no reverb or anything on it, I'm going to turn on some plate reverb on my Hall of Fame 2 and a little bit of slapback. There we go. Love that plate reverb. I turn on the, there's a short pre-delay that I turn it on. It's almost like a slapback in itself. It's that little delay, and then I put in the digital delay. Kind of gives it a cool sound. So that is just been added to this amp. So here we go. Yeah, if you got some reverb to add to it, reverb makes everything sound better, right? So let's do this. Let's turn on, I'm going to go to the humbucker here again, turn on the old tube screamer, maybe a little slap back there, and let's see what this thing can do if we hit it with some overdrive here. That sounds great, you know. Really does. Handles it well. And that was just the Tube Screamer. I had the Overdrive about 11 o'clock. And then some slapback on the Boss DD3 digital delay. And that was the Stage Right, just turned up to 3. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a cut here and I'm going to crank this amp all the way up. It's going to be at its 5-watt setting, but I'm going to dime it. Here next. All right, went ahead and grabbed my Les Paul. Thought it'd be best for a dimed out amp. However, full disclosure, this ain't dimed. I got it about 6.5 to 7. 6 3/4. Got a little muddy when I dimed it out, so I thought, well, let's present it in its best light. Now, it didn't sound horrific, and I suppose if I tweaked it, like I put this EQ on it that I have here, I may have been able to tweak it, but that really wouldn't be fair. So just take my word for it. It's a little bit muddy when you fully crank this thing out. Maybe a beefier speaker would be able to produce a better tone. But let's give it a listen here. I've got the tone all the way up, and again the volume's about almost 7. So got the Les Paul set to the bridge here. You may recognize that tune. Yeah, I thought that fitting. I can just imagine Page with the Supro and him cranking that thing up. They had it sitting in a kitchen cabinet or something. It was like under a sink or something to that effect. But anyways, yeah, that, you know, it sounds pretty good. Yeah, not bad. You know, considering what I paid for this thing, you know, it's 160 bucks now. I will say this, it's not the greatest at the clean tones. They're good. And then, you know, when you crank it, even at like 3 and 4, it was starting to break up. 5, it's definitely in breakup mode. And then anything after 5, it's serious breakup mode. And then, you know, dimed, it's pretty muddy. So even at 160, it's still a pretty damn good amp. I mean, if you just had 160 bucks and you wanted a little amp, you can take this down to the 1 watt. And there's not a huge swing in the volume between 1 and 5. That's why I didn't go on that full on, you know, going back and forth between 1 and 5 watts. But, you know, you can turn this down to 1 or 2 at 1 watt, and it's nice and quiet without any issues. And, you know, so it's a pretty good practice amp for sure. And, you know, as far as a band setting, no way. A 5-watt, 8-inch speaker, you're not going to be able to gig with this thing anyway, unless you're in like some coffee shop or whatever. Even then, it might be too loud for that. But, yeah, great practice amp. Great recording amp. You know, I'll listen back to this and, you know, I'm not going to mix any of this and I'm not going to compress it and do all. It's as I record it here. You know, it goes into Audacity. Yeah, I use a free DAW, and then I export it as a WAV file. I don't do anything to it. So what you're hearing is pretty much that's what I'm hearing in the room. With that being said, please subscribe to the channel. We're starting to grow here. We're getting some steam going here, steam building up, and we're rolling along. Like this video if you liked it, and leave a comment. Any comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Keep rock alive.